Hey everybody, welcome back to another Devilian video. In this video, I'll be talking about the top 5 worst things about Devilian. Let's get right into it. So my number one worst thing, and again, these are not in chronological order, but one of the top ones that is definitely one of the worst things about Devilian is the F2P system, the free-to-play system. Obviously, as a Steam game, it was promoted being free-to-play, so I joined right away. I have not paid a single cent on this game so far, and I am loving it, but the F2P limitations are obvious, and I'll get into those in the actual later parts of this video. But number one problem with this game so far, the F2P limitation. Just to touch on one, I feel like I'm definitely behind in the game. The mounting system, you have to buy a better mount. My mount only goes 30% faster than my actual character does, but you can buy other mounts for money, obviously, right off the bat. So just to touch on one of those things, I'll touch on some more F2P limitations later on in the video. There are many of them. And I don't actually blame Glyph for this, but I just had to mention it in the video. Number two is the system of buying and selling via merchants in the game. Now, every single city has a merchant, their little coin icon on the map, and you can go to these people to sell them anything you want to in your inventory, whether it's a corset, a dress, I don't even know half the names of the items, gloves, rings, earrings, it goes on forever, potions, so on and so forth. You can sell them whatever you want, but the problem with this system is you can sell them things for super cheap, but the same items that you buy from different shops are super expensive. So a quick example of this would be a weak health potion for 12 silver, or for 10 silver. A quick example of this would be a weak health potion you can buy for 10 silver, but when you sell it, you only get 1 silver back. Another increment of the health potion you can buy for 100 silver, but when you sell yours, you only get 3 silver. I know this is actually a method of the game to keep gold from, actually becoming keep too much gold from going into the game, because obviously if people are acquiring all these items, they're going to sell it, get a lot of gold, and then there's going to be inflation, that kind of thing happening. They don't want too much gold in the game. These problems have happened in all the MMOs where gold becomes a huge thing, everyone has too much of it, and devalues the actual game itself. So I know they're trying to limit that, but maybe bring the prices down a little bit on things you're buying, because I'm never going to buy health potions, at least in the early life of this game. I'm not going to buy health potions for 10 silver a piece, or there are some health potions for 5 gold, 1 gold a piece, which I don't think is actually worth it. So maybe lower the prices and raise a little bit how much you get in return. And the third thing on the list, but the number one thing that I think is the worst thing about Devilian, is inventory space. I have had a problem from the get-go with this game when it comes to inventory space. Not only is there not enough inventory space in my inventory, but also my warehouse. In this game, they call your bank your warehouse. But even then, they give you 2 equip runes that give you an additional slot in your bank, additional 2 slots in your bank actually. But even then, you can only store 40 items in your bank, and I believe right now my inventory is currently 16. Luckily for 7 days, I have a pet corgi, which gives me additional inventory space. But even then, I am always crammed with items, and that part of the game sucks. For instance, another MMORPG that's very popular right now, RuneScape, you can have almost 400 slots in your bank account, if not more, and your inventory holds, I believe, 28 or 24. So just, Glyph, please hear me out. I know you're never going to watch this video. Inventory space is a huge turnoff if there's not enough of it. I know there's definitely a rework of the game if you have to go in and change that, but it needs to be done. I don't like having to drop items and delete items out of my bank that I don't need to. I've always been the type of guy that loves storing up and stocking up on items, so please let me do that. Just a quick little thing when it comes to PvP. I talked about this in my last video. I love the PvP aspect of the game, but one little problem, shadow hunters and evokers, especially evokers and their freezes and their stuns, are very OP when it comes to PvP arena style gameplay. You can freeze someone or stun someone, and in a group activity, it seems like you're stunned for 5 to 6 seconds. In that 5 to 6 seconds, you are dead. So I just think the stun system needs to be reworked a little bit, especially with the freezes and evokers when it comes to PvP. Just a personal opinion. Obviously, the game is still in its beta and it's still in its first few days. I know they'll rework it eventually, but that definitely needs to be touched on. And again, none of these changes are going to be easy. I know it takes probably I know it takes probably a lot of coding to change these things, but just some tips and advice. And the last worst thing about the game so far in the beta, I want to stress, I love this game. I'm totally addicted to it, and I do really enjoy the game itself, but I think the potion system needs to be worked a little bit. So there are only 2 keybinds that I actually use for my potions. I use the Q and the E buttons. I use the Q for my weaker potions, the E for my more powerful potions, but I use them both for health potions. I don't use any other elixir potions for mana or anything like that. And the problem I have is we have a timed potion system, so you can only use 1 potion, I believe, probably per 10 seconds, maybe longer. And I know this makes sense because otherwise you'd have people buying mass potions and just clicking Q to heal all the time, but I don't think that's a huge problem. I mean, if someone wants to go out and buy 1,000 potions and use them all within 30 minutes of gameplay, go let them do that. They're going to spend gold on it anyway. Me personally, when I'm in PvP situations, I really don't have the time to use potions. I'm not going to use them anyway. The main part where it affects me are dungeons or quest lines when I can only use 1 potion every 10 to 15, 20 seconds, and it really affects my gameplay. So I think the timer needs to be lessened or removed completely. Just a personal opinion. As always, I hope you all enjoy the game, Devilian, and my top 5 best and worst videos. Leave a comment down below what you guys want to see next. As always, live, love, laugh a lot. I'll see y'all next time. Remember, I like you. Goodbye. I'm addicted to this game.